The Hellhound was a dog from hell that brought horrific disasters to those who encountered it. It had a risk rating of B+ and was 3 meters in size. Its sulfuric flames that came out of its mouth and eyes were extremely gaseous and could trigger sparks. If it bit someone, they could not survive. The living things used as firewood would burn and not go out until they completely disappeared. Bichir knew that he was in trouble when he saw the towering figure of the lookout monster that swallowed the hellfires of the oil world, the Hellhound. The beast was known to be one of the most dangerous monsters in the land, and Bichir had barely survived his encounter with one when he was just 18 years old in his past life. Now, as an 8-year-old, Bichir knew that it would be impossible for him to defeat the Hellhound alone. But he remembered a way to take on the beast that even a child could manage. As the Hellhound lunged towards him, Bichir quickly dodged to the side, remembering the first weakness of Hellhounds. They could only move in straight lines. They found it difficult to suddenly change directions. Bichir quickly dropped some water on the ground, and as the Hellhound charged towards him, he shouted out the second weakness of lookout monsters. They were unable to cross water. Because of the water Bichir dropped, the Hellhound took a longer route to reach Bichir, giving him more time to dodge. Bichir knew that even a shallow depth of water could slow them down significantly, exposing the weakness common to all canine monsters, opening their mouth while running. Bichir found himself in another life-threatening situation as the bloodthirsty Hellhound attacked him. But Bichir was prepared, and he threw a bloody bean into the monster's mouth. After landing, the Hellhound suddenly started to whimper in pain and become unable to move. Bichir explained that chocolate was poison to canines, and with the bloody bean's power to make 100 liters of chocolate with just one bean, it was obvious what it would do to a canine monster like the Hellhound. He drew his sword and aimed for the Hellhound's weak spot where the ribs were not present, the kidney. With a swift and decisive strike, Bichir pierced the Hellhound's kidney, killing it easily. As he absorbed the energy called XP or karma from the defeated monster, Bichir felt his body getting stronger. He swung his sword and felt it becoming lighter, knowing that he was catching up to where he was before his regression before he even reached the age of 15. Bichir couldn't help but wonder what kind of expression Hugo would make when he brought back a monster with a risk rating of B+ as an 8-year-old child. Bichir stood there, ready to take the head of the Hellhound he had just defeated, feeling confident in his abilities. He knew he had already secured first place in the practical test, and was eager to claim his reward, something he never would have dreamed of in his past life. But his moment of triumph was short-lived as a group of Hellhounds approached him, likely seeking revenge for their fallen comrade. Bichir remained calm and collected, already knowing the weaknesses of these creatures and how to defeat them. As the Hellhounds drew nearer, Bichir took out his sword and prepared to take them on. He had plenty of bloody beans left and was ready to use them to his advantage. With a smirk on his face, he cut the dead Hellhound's head and taunted the Hellhounds, knowing they were no match for his skills and knowledge. He had already defeated one of their kind and was prepared to take them all down. The Hellhound suddenly started whimpering, which immediately caught Bichir's attention. He couldn't believe that the fierce beasts were feeling scared of a mere 8-year-old's bloodthirst. Hellhounds would never submit to their prey even if they were to die. Bichir thought to himself, trying to figure out what could have caused the Hellhounds to feel so uneasy. As Bichir turned around, he saw a monstrous creature with 3 heads standing before him. It was a Cerberus, the legendary 3-headed dog from Greek mythology. The creature was massive, measuring at least 7 meters in size, and Bichir knew that a Cerberus had a risk rating of A+. Bichir was bewildered as to what a Cerberus, which typically inhabited the 7th ridge of the La Rouge et La Noire mountain, was doing here. The Cerberus was known as the ultimate lookout monster, residing in a place where all the dead spirits were headed. Bichir noticed that the Cerberus was bleeding and had multiple arrows stuck in its body. He realized that someone might have been hunting it, and it had come all the way to this place being chased. This was his chance to kill an injured A+ rank monster, and he decided to attack the Cerberus. Despite the Cerberus being a powerful and dangerous creature, Bichir had been hiding his true abilities as a sword expert and had already reached a high level of expertise. His body had been strengthened by the river Styx, and all the weapons he possessed were working well against the injured Cerberus. With his refined swordsmanship, which he had developed through wars with the demon clans, he successfully landed some hits on the Cerberus. Bichir thought that he could do it, as an injured Cerberus was doable. Bichir's attack on the Cerberus seemed to be working, and he thought he had a chance of defeating the injured A+ rank monster. However, in a moment of carelessness, Bichir let his guard down, allowing the Cerberus to strike back with its claws. The first attack broke Bichir's sword, and the second sent him flying through the air. The force of the Cerberus's attack sent Bichir hurtling towards a tree trunk. With a sickening thud, he smashed into the tree trunk, and blood poured from his mouth. The impact had clearly caused a serious injury, and Bichir lay still, his body broken and unmoving. Bichir's eyes opened slowly and a surge of panic rushed through him as he remembered the direct attack of the Cerberus and felt a sharp pain in his left arm. He wondered if the beast had ripped his arm off in the attack, but when he looked down, he saw that it was still attached to his body, with some injuries. Bichir was relieved that the Cerberus was wounded and had not managed to sever his arm completely. He thought about the river Styx and how its magical properties might have played a role in protecting him from the beast's full force. He felt grateful for its protection but knew he couldn't rely on it completely. His relief was short-lived, however, as he quickly realized that the damage was still significant. He knew he wouldn't be able to take another hit from the Cerberus, and so he dodged as the beast attacked him once again.